Hello, I'm Dietrich Epps, Footsteps to Home creator and filmmaker and general family genealogist. And I'm really excited today, as one of my family genealogists and historians, to talk about someone else who's very interested in her own journey home. Today, we're going to be talking to author Bridgette Bess, and you can see Bridgette here with us now. And I'm excited to introduce you to my good girlfriend and someone who has also I've been on a journey with, and we've been on a journey of life together. And today our journey is about footsteps to home. This is her second book, and I want to introduce you to Bridgette. And allow you, Bridgette, to tell a little bit about yourself outside of who you are as an author. Tell us about yourself and what brings you today to Footsteps to Home.
Well, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Dietrich, for the opportunity for me to join you for Footsteps to Home. I'm so excited about what this movement has been and what it will continue to be and how it will grow in the future. So thank you so much for allowing me to be a part of this. So a little bit about me. My name is Bridgette, Bridgette Bess. I am a resident of the beautiful historical city of Savannah, Georgia. I was born and raised here. However, I left here for about 13 years. I lived in North Carolina, which is how I came to learn or came to know Dietrich. And so we've stayed connected all of these years, even with me moving back home. So I am a native of Savannah. I am a Mary Kay lady. I am an author. So we'll talk a little bit more about Journey Home, but my first book that I wrote was Daddy's Little Girl. So just grateful for what God has done for me and how he continues to use me. In addition to that, I work, I have my regular 9 to 5. I do work in human resources, which has its own challenges, but I'm still there, so I guess I do pretty good. But that's just a little bit about me, a little bit about me. Also, some years back, I started a blog called Bridgette Breaking Barriers, and from that, it grew into podcasts and blogs and a book and just all the things. So I'm just continually grateful for all of the things that God is allowing me to do.
Thank you for that introduction. And I love that you included the many parts of who you are. We first were connected. Bridgette and I were first connected through Mary Kay, which is very exciting because Mary Kay talks about an I story, right? Telling the story of who you are and how you came to be a business entrepreneur with the company. But today we're not talking about all of our I story. We're talking about Footsteps to Home and a little bit about the book you've written and your own family story about Journey Home. I'm smiling. It's hard for me to stop smiling, Bridgette, because I'm so happy for you. Congratulations on launching your second book, Journey Home. There are a few things we could talk about, but I want to talk first about the work that you and your family have done to preserve your family history and tell a little bit about what inspired you to write Journey Home.
Well, that's a loaded question, but I believe it's been an ongoing thing. I'll be honest, growing up, I never recognized it or understood it as much, but the older I got and the more I learned more about it, some of my cousins, one of my cousins in particular, he is all of the things in regards to genealogy and those types of things. So I learned a lot just from him and the research that he has done. And so I came to learn about our family story some years ago. And it's such an incredible story, which kind of inspired me to write this book, so that other people can know this story and be inspired by the story, but also more so for my family, for us to be able to continue our legacy, but have a physical remnant of that legacy. So being able to have something that tells our story, but also being able to share that same story with others. So that was a little bit about the inspiration behind it as well as I guess my pride in what my family has done in the future and how we continue to move.
And why was it important to tell your family story through a children's book?
Great question. So I think I wanted to make it as simple as possible, right? So that anybody could be able to grasp the concept of it. And so that was the reason why I think it was important not just for the adults to know the story or the teenagers to know the story, but also the children so that they can learn at a young age about their story and have pride in their story, their family's story. So that's why I wanted to be able to do it. So while it's a children's book, it's for everybody,
Mhm.
so that, young people could be able to understand as well as older people can be able to understand what our story meant and what legacy we are standing on the shoulders of.
Yes. And so as you're speaking, I'm reminded of when I came to visit you and your family in Hilton Head, South Carolina. And it's very funny to me now that because family history is so important to me, when you started telling the story of your family history, one of the first things I asked you was, take me to the cemetery where your your ancestors are buried. And that's a really strange thing to ask of someone. But there's
Mhm.
a reason why that land is so important to your family in South Carolina. Tell
Mhm.
us a little bit about your family as Gullah Geechee and what it means to you to be a part of that history.
So going back, I don't remember Gullah Geechee being a thing. Like,
Hmm.
when I was growing up, I don't remember it being a thing. Not saying that it wasn't, I just don't remember it being a thing. But the older I got, the more it was like, wait, this is a thing, and like people are like really into this, and they're wanting to know more about it. And here I was, I grew up around it, so to speak, and didn't know. I think a piece of what the Gullah Geechee people represent is about connection. It's about culture, about preserving what was and continuing to carry it on into the future. So Gullah Geechee is more so about people striving to preserve the little that they had left when it
Mhm.
came from Africa. So I think that's what makes it so special is because this was their way to kind of create their own world in a new world that they did not
Mhm.
know. So I think that's why it's so important to kind of keep it alive, but also to understand the pride in it. So now, I go to something and you're talking about Gullah Geechee people, and I'm like, really? Like, you want to know more about that? Because now I recognize that that is a thing for people, and people are
Mhm.
intrigued by it. How these people were able to come all these miles over and be able to continue to preserve the things from their past lives,
Mhm.
and just keep it forward. But I will say growing up, I remember, there is somewhat of a disconnect because I grew up in Savannah. My family is from Hilton Head. Even my mom grew up, she was born and raised in Savannah. She's been here her whole life.
Mhm.
Others have, migrated off. However, and even my grandparents, my granddad is the one who grew up on the island, grew up on Hilton Head Island. And so I guess it was one thing for that they were kind of taught to learn the English language, and so they did such a good job of doing that. Sometimes the dialect of their Gullah Geechee kind of went aside, but I do remember my great aunts both are deceased, and my granddad also is deceased. But I do remember the relationship that I had with my great aunts and how. Hearing them talk, I didn't think about it then. It didn't make, it was just like that's how she talked. But now I'm like, oh, that's what, that's about,
Mhm.
because sometimes it's like, I don't know what she said, that kind of a thing.
Right.
But now I have more of a appreciation for it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's just a little bit about how we continue on that legacy.
Yes, and there's so many things that are inspiring to me about the way your family has kept your story through oral history, and the book Journey Home tells a little bit about that history. And even if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about like what fascinated me about your ancestor Caesar Jones is that that story has been passed down from generation to generation. And can you tell a little bit about how your family managed to share that story that you've now put in the book Journey Home?
I guess it was just through over time, you would tell your grandchild, and as your grandchild got older, they would tell their grandchild, and I guess if we really think about it, we're not that far off from slavery, right?
Mm.
So just passing down that story. So I'm trying to think in my mind, how long do I remember knowing about it? I've
Mhm.
known about it for quite some time because I do remember at a family reunion. We're actually preparing for our family reunion, which is the debut of my book. That's Journey Home.
Congratulations.
So I remember years and years and years ago, we did our family story, and we did a play. And
Mm.
we told the story about how Caesar Jones, that's our ancestor, how he made his way from, it was the Rose Hill Plantation, which is in Bluffton, South Carolina, and he made his way to Hilton Head, and how he was able to make his way there and then create a life for himself. He joined the army. He was a part of the Civil War. So I'm not sure. I would just say that, it was just a matter of just kind of passing it down, doing things like that. I think that was a piece of how I came to learn this story, was being a part of my family's culture, that we make sure that we kind of keep it alive and we continue to talk about it more and more.
And Bridget, I want to thank you because you're having a family reunion with your family for so many years. I'm not sure how many years you've had it now, but I remember many years ago when you and I first began to be friends that I said, you know what? I'm so inspired by your family's family reunion. I'm going to bring my family together for an immediate family reunion. Because
Yeah.
when I thought about family reunions, on my mom's side, they used to have family reunions every year. But then it really, as people who led the reunion were no longer with us, it became less and less frequent. And now I can't truly say that my family has a consistent family reunion the way that they used to. And we're not the only ones because people have
Right.
moved in so many different places. But I commend you and your family for maintaining that tradition of family reunions. And I want to say that, when we did our family reunion, after I learned about your reunion and another friend's family reunion, even with just immediate family, I think it's so important to maintain that tradition of family reunions. As a matter of fact, I told my family, my immediate family, and I say immediate because a lot of times we feel like family reunions have to be across all of the clans of the family, but you start with where you can. And
Right.
so what we're doing, I'm trying to get, we did have an in-person one, and we've had kind of a couple since then, but even a virtual family reunion, I think is very important. Talk a
Yeah.
little bit about how your family comes together, even if this family reunion is at Hilton Head in person,
Yeah.
which you haven't done that in a little while, but what are some other ways that your family stays together if you can't journey home together? What are some other ways that you connect?
I would say so. My family is a little different. So we kind of have created kind of an organization, so to speak. So we have like the national portion of our family reunion, and then we have chapters, and so we usually encourage different chapters to have different events. COVID was it was a lot for a lot of people, not just our family, but I think we were very intentional about doing things even if it's virtual. So
Mhm.
I remember a couple years we had a virtual family reunion. Like, we had different things going on,
Mhm.
like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So like Friday evening we had one thing, and then Saturday evening we did another thing, and then
Yeah.
Sunday, we might do another thing. I don't think we did anything on Sunday, but it was just a matter of being able to keep ourselves together and just to come together. Another thing too, so it's interesting. I've been doing this work, planning for our reunion, and this is our first family reunion on the Hilton Head in many moons. It's been a very long time since we've been back in Hilton Head. So it has become a very special moment. but I have one of my cousins who is the chairperson for our family reunion this year. He hasn't been around in quite some time, but like to see his how he kind of came back and it was like he never left, you know what I'm saying? And just all in and getting things done. So I think there's something to be said about the bond that you have and how you grow up and how even if you grow apart, so to speak, that bond was already
Mhm.
there. So kind of like friendship, right? Me and you might not talk every day, but like when we come together, it's like
Yeah.
nothing has
Right.
gone past. So I
Yeah.
feel like it's the same thing. So it's just a matter of being intentional about it. But even like connecting, even on social media, like we have a Facebook page where we try to engage with people. We send out notices, emails if there was a death in the family or if something important happened. So just getting that information out there and continuously engaging with one another is something that we strive to do. I'm not saying that we're perfect or we
Mhm.
get it right all of the time, but we do try to kind of do those things. And I think also too, from like we were talking about with those different building different connections with one another, you become a part of people's lives, like going to birthday parties and weddings and those types of things. So definitely it's a way to kind of keep involved. And then we just have to be intentional about making sure that we create those connections with one another.
Yes, and I think you all do a great job of that in celebrating family. So I wanted one last thing I wanted to mention about the Gullah Geechee as we're thinking about it is that um, the history that you so often took for granted
Yeah,
and didn't think much about it, it's now like it's a national conversation. It's even an international conversation when you talk about heirs property and the
yeah,
challenges of people taking over property that because of different reasons. It happens all in North Carolina, it happens in other places as well, even in other places around the world.
yeah.
So the story is a very important story. And I just wanted to, whoever, for all of the audience that's listening today, I wanted to use Bridget's stories as an example that even though you think your family story may not be special or different, everyone's story is important. And that's what Footsteps to Home is all about. It's about finding your way of what are your footsteps back to your home? What do you know about it? And if you don't know, how can you find out more? And so
Right.
thank you for sharing Journey Home.
Of
As we
course.
close out, can you say a little bit about what do you hope children and adults will take away from your book?
I would say pride would be the main thing that I would hope that they take from this book, as well as understanding their inheritance, so to speak, as well as their legacy. I would also say too that your family story is a part of American history, and I know
Mhm.
it's not some an American history that people always talk about, but our families, African Americans, our families are a part of the American story, and it's vital. It matters. And it also tells the resilience of a people who, I mean, just what they had to endure just from the fact that they even made it to the United States is a blessing in itself. So that just speaks to the resilience of the people, and that is the same blood that is running through you. So
Yeah.
to me, I think it's important for you to understand not only how resilient your people were, but also how resilient you are. And so hopefully there's a level of pride that kind of rises up within you to make you know just how great you are and what greatness has have you that you've come from, but also the greatness that you have inside of you, so that you can go out and do great things.
I think that's a great place to pause. This is part one of our story with author Bridgette Bess. And we're going to go to a part two that talks a little bit more about that journey and that resilience and where it comes from and how it really is in our DNA. So if you enjoyed this story, like and subscribe to Footsteps to Home, but you can also connect and get the book Journey Home by Bridgette J. Bess. How can they get the book, Bridgette?
So the book will be on sale as of July 24th on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon, search for Journey Home by Bridgette J. Bess, and you'll be able to find it. And also one great thing, we have some land in our family, and this is semi a fundraiser. So all of the proceeds from the sales of this book will go towards our building fund. So
Oh,
you'll be able to
beautiful.
support a good cause as well.
Oh, it's an amazing cause. Thank you for sharing that before we close out. So please purchase the book Journey Home by Bridgette J. Bess on Amazon. If you go to Hilton Head, make sure to visit the museum where her
Yeah.
cousin is also has a museum. What's the name of the museum, Bridgette?
It's the Gullah Museum. It's like a little
Okay.
house, but it's the Gullah Museum on Hilton
Okay.
Head Island.
All right.
Wonderful
Thank you so
experience.
much. And have a wonderful family reunion. And
Thank you.
everyone, again, like and subscribe. Stay tuned for part two, where we're going to talk a little bit more about what does it mean to have to connect with your family, even beyond that which your family stories may be able to tell you about. How else might you connect with your family and reconnect with your ancestry, place of your ancestry? Thanks so much, everyone. Take care.
Bye.